So come on in, take a sip, and let's wind down. It's Sunday. It is a beautiful day outside here. It is partly cloudy and I don't know, somewhere in the high 60s, I think. It's just really just a very gorgeous day. Everybody's out and about. They're all having gelato and coffee and beer since 8 o'clock this morning. And you gotta love that, right? So, but today I'm having this mentor, and I've never had a Douro red Portuguese wine before. But there are so many different types of wine. I mean, this is not surprising. But considering the proximity we have here in Germany to Portugal, you'd think that I probably would have hit on one at some point, but alas, that's not been the case. But I am severely impressed with this one on the nose. Lots of blueberries, and I want to say cranberry, along with your typical cassis berries, just the berries, red and black, some stone fruit in there. On the palate, just the vanilla is coming through. On the nose, we're getting some tobacco. It's kind of putting itself together. This one was aged and seasoned in oak casks, right? And so that's really, that's like a significant factor there. You can pick up the minerality from the AO there. I've had other Portuguese wines, just not a Douro red. This is among the top 8% of wines in the world, and so it's very interesting, to try it for the first time. I mean, this is balanced, It's somewhere between smooth and tannic, bold and soft. It's you're really pretty much open to whatever you'd like. It's slightly on the sweeter side than ultra dry, but it's still a dry wine. But you have that olfactory switcheroo going on there where you think you're having something a little bit more of a Beaujolais, right? But it's not. This is a very dry wine, but it has this wonderful fruity presence with it. And I'm not kidding. I think grapefruit. That's pretty cool. And so, yeah, beautiful thing here. I'm thinking, fish. Probably not the right choice for this menu, depending on your taste, but I can see that venison or beef or pork would be fabulous in any kind of pasta, pizza, etc., if that's your thing. But it's beautiful. It's got great legs. What a gorgeous wine. First time to ever have one, and I tell you, I'm sold. And so, on this day in history, 1911, Guillaume Apollinaire was arrested in Paris for stealing the Mona Lisa. That was gutsy. That was pretty gutsy. And the dictionary.com word of the day is Welt. And this is the open country in parts of South Africa, right? You've got the sparse grasses and bushes and a few trees here and there. Welt is a Dutch word, and it reminds me of Welt in Deutsch, so in German, W-E-L-T, right? And you could be talking about the world, right? Versus, say, a forest, which would be the Wald, W-A-L-D. And so, very interesting. W-E-L-T, the world, Wald, forest, the Schwarze Wald, for example, is the black forest, and so on. So this is a really interesting noun. I don't believe I had ever been familiar with it before, and so I love learning new things. And sometimes we get those words from dictionary.com. Sometimes we get ilk. So, it's always kind of a crapshoot, right? So let's hop into our grid here. See what we've got. So we have a grid with the name is the game is the title of this one. The name is the game. And this is a Derrick Niederman construction, looks like, edited by Will Shorts. And if I'm not mistaken, he is not toys, I think games. I think he designs board games and stuff. Something like that. Anyway, very interesting constructor. Definitely New York Times Crossword royalty. So let's hop into our grid, see what we got for the day. So where Gloria Estefan was born. I can't say off the top of my head. I don't know. My guess would be that she's Cuban, and so I guess that could be Havana, and we'll see. Schmooze. If that's Habana, I guess we could hobnob here, which is going to require some instantaneous checking because it doesn't really feel, like it's perfect. ancestor of the tuba or sousaphone, and I guess this would be the bass horn. Maybe. Oh gosh, we're really kind of getting into the nether regions of my memory with these pushes with force. Oh, I don't know. Overdone. No fewer than. Probably be at least. So quick check there with 76 down individually. Well, looks like that could be one at a time, but we'll get to that in a second. But that is at... I just keep thinking this is like thrusts. So subdivisions of some counties. No. Downside. Borneo neighbor. Okay, as my mind goes flipping through the atlases of my memories here. Let's see, Sumatra. And okay, that A going down. Love in Lyon. That's amour. So, Andean stimulant. Ooh. 20 years to life on that one. End of any Shakespeare play. An increase in ham prices forced the deli to blank sandwiches higher. Okay, I don't know. Let's see. Subdivisions of some counties. I got it. Bar with drafts. Let's go with a tap room. I've been to a few of those in my time. I'm just not a big beer drinker, but I do love wine very much. But what's not to love about wine? Toady could be a yes man. Now, I don't know about if it's just me or if everybody else feels this way, but this is not a this is not one of those rollover grids. This is not like nothing's just feeling like a sure bet, you know. End of any Shakespearean play. I mean, I'm pretty sure this would be Act 5. To Washington blank, Germany seemed far from Tarrytown, New York. So this sounds like it could be Washington, Irving, and then Irving, Berlin to finish the name. To Washington, Irving, Berlin, Germany seemed far from Tarrytown, New York. Oh, well, why not? Kind of fun. Spaceballs, begged, maybe pled. That would be planets here then, I think. Okay, well, this is just really planets. Okay, let's get this straight here. And yeah, I think this might be one at a time. So Gerald Ford or William Howard Taft once. Decks for reading, maybe tarots. Yeah, we got a clever little grid today. Sydney State abbreviation. I think that would be New South Wales. I think. Big word in advertising. Maybe new. Okay, I don't. Current. Could be up to date. So, yeah, I'm thinking new. And a time. All right. And that feels like we got way off track here just because I was trying to check a few things to make sure that we were correct in some of these guesses. We've been making some wild guesses in here. So, words before sea or lunch could be out to sea, out to lunch. And how some risks are taken on a bet, maybe. Buzz, so to speak, like some philosophical arguments. Going with Socratic here. Okay, an increase in ham prices forced the deli to blank sandwiches higher. So we got an Act 5 here, which makes sense. you know, the whole Shakespeare Majors Unite. Female moose or elephant would be a cow. Spots to go in the UK. How about Wasserklosets? Water closets. We have them here. I think we got a Mark Cuban. So an increase in ham prices forced the deli to mark Cuban sandwiches higher. I like this theme. If this is it. Powerless. Source of the films, the Blues Brothers and Coneheads. Used to be Saturday Night Live. So Powerless could be unable. Summer month. We just finished with August. Extremely loyal could be True Blue. Yeah. Fish eating raptors, maybe Urns. Interesting. Taj Mahal City could be Agra. So we're kind of opening it up to us here. Son of Hanna-Barbera's Doggy Daddy, and that would be Augie Doggy. One of those cartoons that I didn't change the channel when it came on when I was a kid. I mean, I was really picky about that stuff. Numbskull could be a ninny. And I guess Gerald Ford or William Howard Taft once would have been a Yale man, but you could have also said the same thing about a lot of people that sat in the Oval Office, right? I mean, George W. Bush, his father, H.W. Bush. I mean, there's a lot of Yale people in there. Not mistaken. Bill Clinton went there for law school. There's a lot of Yale people. I mean, a lot of them. So, dab with a towel could be to blot. And annoyance, how about a pest? Reason to relocate a picnic blanket, maybe. How about ants? Ants, yeah. And so why do none of the Fruit of the Loom characters don lemon-colored clothing? Okay, so this is just clever. We're just taking names. After all, the name is the game. I'm liking it. Blunt, negative, nope. That's blunt enough for you. I hope so. One who's a well-meaning but bad influence on a friend, maybe. How about an enabler? And that might be what I am to everybody. Depleted, perhaps used up, and directs as cargo. Perhaps it's being routed. So did Joyce write courtesy of a Ulysses Grant? Yeah, Edmonton NHL player would be an Oiler. Okay. Philosopher who purportedly said the best fighter is never angry, and I would agree with that. Let's see. But the best fighters are always hungry. And I make that case all the time. You know, I do intermittent fasting. I fast 24 hours between every meal. It's just what I do. So I just eat once a day, usually in the afternoon, later afternoon, early evening, depending on the schedule or what we're doing. But I can tell you right now, that seems to be how we are the most energetic, have the most strength, is not when we're well fed. And I often say to people, like, I wonder, would you be better off, dealing with a lion that hadn't eaten in 2 weeks? Or a lion that just finished eating, like a lot, right? So, yeah, I think the one that hasn't eaten in 2 weeks is going to be pretty powerful and strong and get right to you, right? And so, yeah, I mean, there was a reason back when I was kickboxing as a kid, they'd always say, hey, don't, eat earlier in the afternoon the day before, and they don't eat anything until after the matches, right? So there's kind of something to that. It's the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge. You got it. Trains above street level. I'm thinking Chicago. Thinking The Bear. Really been enjoying that show. Can't believe I hadn't been watching it. Facetious suffix with most. How about the mostest? Well, superlative for sure. Let's see. White wine named for a region in France. And I would imagine we're talking about Sauternes. So, let's see. Biblical preposition, maybe unto. Bed blank, Brooklyn neighborhood familiarly. Yeah, Paul Auster. Remember a couple of his books talking about bed. Is it Sturvant? I can't remember the whole name. I think it's Bedstui. I don't know. Peter, Paul, and Mary as an example could be a trio. I've never been there, so I don't know. Scorch the surface could be to sear, and subdivisions of some counties, I guess it would be townships. Peeping Tom waits. Oh, that is funny for Lady Godiva to appear. Would you really have to be a peeping Tom to wait for her to appear? Because it seems to me that she pretty much just went for a ride. With 76 down individually, maybe, okay, one at a time. We discussed that earlier. I felt pretty confident with it. Looks like it's lining up just fine for us. Area with pews. Okay, got it. I got a knave here. Probably the best album from Jethro Tull was the Crest of a Knave. The different spelling altogether, but still. Fun fact, according to me. As the British pound rises in value, the dollar, blank Afghan Airlines carrier to the Mideast would be Ariana, Afghan, parts of a heart or a trumpet would be valves. I always thought that the spit valve was particularly disgusting. Especially when they're draining that sucker between songs. Oh, gosh. Gross. So, yeah, I think we do have Havana. And that's stat. Now. Yesterday. Let's go. One who gives a good talking to. How about an orator? And media personalities Melber and Fleischer. Aries. As the British pound rises, the dollar bill withers. Bill Withers. Lean on me. Yeah, that guy. Oh, how cool. What a fun grid. Product of the first three primes, and that looks like it is going to be 30, which it would be. So overdone could be trite. And also we do have Ulysses Grant. Remove a restraint from. Perhaps we're going to unharness. And let's see, have a ball. Ooh, how about Saab? International shoe brand originating in England. Yes, Reebok, thank goodness. I was not happy about that BOK. I thought, oh, there's a chance that something's wrong here. So we'll try a Ulysses Grant. And that's funny. Though I'm fairly certain he didn't have any grant whatsoever to write Ulysses. Very long indeed. The E of quod erat demonstrandum, as it was to be proven. And what am I doing? Get your fingers on the right keys here. Low quality paper. How about a rag? A rag. And smears, maybe tars. And get crazy over, maybe go gaga. After spending the afternoon at Epcot, we had dinner at a blank bistro. Equipment could be gear. Buddy who portrayed TV's Jed Clampett, and that would be Buddy Ebsen, I think. And I think this is after spending the afternoon at Epcot, we had dinner at a Tony Orlando bistro. How Tony? Yes, very metropolitan. Orlando. Got it. Very nice. Okay, so maybe we're gonna have to really check that. Peninsula in Southeast Asia. Mahaya? I don't know. Let's see. Relative of a sultan could be an emir. Somnial acronym could be a rapid eye movement. And consecutively, maybe in a row. Or warring in a row. Like a naughty Beetle Bailey in brief. How about AWOL? He's AWOL. Tiny house occupants. Dolls? Dolls? Seem like tiny houses, right? Constant nuisance. Oh, the bane of my existence would be trucks, tractors, and bicycles on one-lane roads in Germany. My bane. So I think we got Malaya here. And sure things would be slam dunks. Boy, you think something's going to be a slam dunk, and then when it ain't, and you put all them eggs in that basket, boy, that hurts. Especially in account world. Like when I was an advertising exec, that was just the awful. I mean, if somebody was like really in love with your work, they're the ones that sought you out, they brought you to the table, they gave you carte blanche, they paid for a $400 lunch, that kind of thing, you know, replete with like 4 or 5 martinis, which was lunch enough for me back in the day. I mean, 3, 4 martinis, let's just say 4, rounded up, plus 3 olives each. I mean, it's 12 olives, that's a pretty good lunch right there. So, mención, por ejemplo, casa, ¿por qué no? Sarastro in Mozart's The Magic Flute, as an example. I think it might be Basso. Orchestra section toward the middle of the pit would be the oboes. And, geez, sorry I asked. Boy, I tell you, I've said that a time or two. Collection of laws could be canon, and strike-breaking sort could be a scab. Or also someone that rides along in their best friend's ride trying to holler at me. I don't need that. I don't need no scab. Is it a scab? Scrub. Never mind. There went that whole joke. Don't turn on the laugh machine for that one, Christopher. Aquatic acronym. How about a self-contained underwater breathing apparatus to go with our scab? Scab, scrub. What's the difference? Hairstyle that can be casual or formal. How about an updo? Special ops. Have the nerve. Ooh, dare. And spring's opposite tidally would be neep. And irk could be to peeve. And part of many a morning routine would be a shave. Yes, that's the longest part of my day in the shower, is that shave in the morning. It's like if we had ourselves a sauna here in the flat, like a small steam room, I could just go sit in for 20 minutes as I'm getting up, you know, drinking espresso, waking up, getting a good schwitz going. That would be great. Then my face would be so soft, I could just like shave real fast right in the sink. No need to stay in the shower. Okay, so fury could be ire. So we're kind of cutting this thing up here. So we're getting through this grid today. And it is a clever one, and it is pretty challenging too, considering most Sundays. So buzz, so to speak, could be to call, and I like that. Scheduled or secluded valley would be a glen. Seems like the majority of Scotch brand names have a glen in them somehow or some way. How some risks are taken. I'm going to go with on a bet. Social gathering of a sort could be a B. So we'll go with a bet. I'll bet. So Shakespeare vis-a-vis the expression Brave New World, and that would be the coiner. The one word I coined in my life before I came up with yank slap, which is the result of a yank trying to do a Guardian cryptic crossword for the first time as a yank slap, was an Iago Morata, which was just that, an evil girlfriend, lover, whatever. And I've seen it in print, but I don't think they were quoting me necessarily. I think it was just someone else's big idea too, because after all, nothing new exists under the sun. Startle, how about alarm? And so with that, unpleasant look could be a leer. Body part containing photoreceptors, and that would be our retinas. And let's see, blank Sunday. Easy as or Easter Sunday? I don't know. Some Californians consider Santa Barbara Eden on Earth. We got Barbara Eden. I dream of Jeannie fame. Barbara Eden. Okay, Eden on Earth. It's a very clever theme today. I mean, that's just clever. Clear in a way as a windshield, maybe de-ice, defog. Fine as is, actually. Whatever. When it's written in there, stet, what that should actually just basically say to everybody is, ooh, my bad, sorry. Sorry. Jumped at it too soon. It looks fine. It's like, don't stet me. If you're going to have the gall to mark up my paper like you've had a nosebleed on it, then you should at least go ahead and stick with your guns. Go ahead. You're the one that did it. Stick with it. Be proud of your decision. Oh, gosh, I used to have a copy editor. First agency I ever worked at. Everything. For all your beef needs. For all your blank needs. For all your disc golf needs. For all your glass replacement needs. For all your, we had a restaurant too. It was Lebanese, for all your Lebanese dining needs. It was just always going to be in the copy, especially for radio spots, right? Gosh, those things are 60 seconds long. TV, much easier to deal with if you're just doing a 30-second spot, because you're really only cutting it to like 27 and a half seconds anyway. So that was just the day. It was easy. Clearing away. Okay, so I don't really know yet what we got here. The shark warning notes of Jaws. And I think we're looking for a light motif. And we got a defog here then, I'm assuming. Really, I think it helps tremendously to be a musician and get into these crosswords. I think it really does. Ball girl. I don't know. We have an E here. Anesthetic. First used on a patient in 1842, and I bet you that was, what was it? Esther Ether. I don't know. Let's see. Didn't dine out. So maybe 8 in. So ether. Got it. An intoxicating Asian plant whose name sounds like an insect, and I think that's beetle. Beta. Large safari site would be a rhino, and I do believe we have a bell of the ball over here. Our ball girl is a bell. Carbon compound, enol, tackle box item, line, okay. Spherical shape, how about an orb? Beat one's chest, how about brag? Home makeover and brief could be a reno, so we'd have an Easter Sunday. I've never heard easy as Sunday, but I think it makes sense, especially, that's why I'm easy like Sunday morning. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of came to my head, like maybe that's a thing. Maybe it was a thing. Maybe that's why I thought of it. Or maybe I was just taking Lionel Richie's work to whole new lengths and before writing stet there. Just leave it as is. It's fine. Sorry. So info for a traveler for short. Well, how about an estimated time of something? Arrival, departure? Don't know. We could probably find that out though. Let's check. Set of pull-ups. Arms? I don't know. Site of a speeding car, maybe. Canada's first national park, 1885. I think that's Banff? I'm trying to remember the name of that park. Season ticket holders presumably could be fans, presumably. So now we've got a B. So maybe this is a blur. Now what do we got? Set of pull-ups. I'm going to put arms in. That would give us estimated time of arrival and arms. Let's see if we're right. Beaver state capital would be Salem. Election day is one, maybe Tuesday. The supermodel, Salem. Just always check to see what I'm doing here. Snow cone, maybe. We got maybe a snow cone. Immaturity could be greenness. I don't think I've ever looked at that word, that there's two N's. Greenness. Okay. Charles or Ray, who lent their name to a kind of chair, would be Eames. We've had several Eames chairs. I kind of got one now, though the one I have now is made in Germany. It's leather and it's got a motor in it. Doesn't have the separate ottoman that goes with it, but we've had several of those chairs over the course of my life. I'll tell you what, I do love them. But I find myself sitting on the couch with my Shotzi anyway, so it just kind of sits there. Guests have an awesome chair. Just have a cool chair to sit in. Take it easy, will you? Take it easy, will you? Lay off. Lay off. All right, got it. The supermodel was holding a copy of Elle fanning herself on the beach, maybe. Okay, I think that's pretty clever, too. Let's see if it lines up. Follower of waste and want not. Not. Work on the score of would be to notate. Again, it just helps to be familiar with music, I think. I like a lot. Very high. Okay. Stoned? I don't know. Mounted below the surface of, maybe set into. I'm going to go ahead and put stoned in. Man, why not? We can always erase it. Try again. Equivocated. Certain canines. Okay, so maybe eye teeth. So equivocated could be hedged. And blank 3 lives. Early TV drama. I led 3 lives. And 20 plus 10 would be 30. Got it. And stockpile hedge. Woo, man. I mean, if I had just gone through and just, done a horrible job with these, with this fat fingering today. I mean, I hope I didn't. I mean, it feels like we're doing okay here. Base one rag, Walt, Ulysses Grant. It's kind of interesting with having Ulysses without an S Grant, but that wouldn't work. Let's see, Sumatra. I don't know. I mean, I guess we could just figure out. If I have to go out and find it, I guess we can. Relating to the winds movement would be Aeolian. So, I don't know. Let's see. How did we do Bob? I do make it a point. When I put in something like stockpile store, then I have a tendency to go and make sure everything lines up. But sometimes I forget, and that's always the thing that it's really probably the most embarrassing thing that I could do. It would be one thing to come across a term that I was not used to. That would be easier. There'd be nothing bad about that. It wouldn't be embarrassing or anything. I haven't been beaten by a crossword yet. In a very, very long time, but I can tell you it would not blow me away to do so on even a Monday when there's just a collection of somethings there in a corner, say, that I just have no idea on, I don't know all of the hits from Britney Spears or, say, Taylor Swift or something along those lines, about maybe a board game that I've never played or whatever. And if I'm just not familiar, I'm not familiar, and I wouldn't know, and so therefore, it could happen. But usually I get saved by something on the cross, right? Something in the intersections that take place here, which is what makes the cryptic so difficult for most people. But on the whole, this was just a really great grid. Now, I didn't notice any light up something taking place there to tell me that, this was where, this is the one that's going to give it away. That this is the theme. I don't remember any true light up moments in this grid, but everything here, for the most part, when you didn't have anything in, there was no fill to begin with. I had to come down. I think I came down. I was thinking maybe Havana. That led to Hobnob. Then I went to checking, and I figured maybe a bass horn, would be the ancestor of a tuba or a sousaphone, but I don't really know. It's all there. But once I started getting some stuff in, it all kind of came a little bit easier. There's a lot of terms that, like Banff, for example, I was surprised that I remembered it, but as soon as I had an A and an F, it would have come together. So what a lot of people think is that you just have to have down pat in your brain all of these different definitions and, different words for this, the synonyms, right? Like it'd be a walking dictionary, thesaurus, encyclopedia all in one. Not necessarily. But it helps to just be able to see the pattern and then remember the word, right? That's the biggest trick of them all. So let's go ahead and bring down our bannière d'adieu and we'll let class out. It's been a lovely Sunday. I've really enjoyed doing that with you. It's been fun to sit here and solve this grid. My name is Christopher, and it is always a delight to be here and solving grids with you. If you would please hit the like button, and if you have not subscribed, to do that as well. It would just help the algorithm choose more people like you. That would make things so much better. I love every single person subscribed to this channel. Everybody has something to offer. Everybody's got something wonderful and kind and generous to offer every single time there's comments. And so thank you. I just want more of you. And so it's looking like we might be at 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I mean, we're getting pretty close, right? We're already sitting in September now. So it's really getting very exciting. I would have never thought we'd have more than 1,000, to be honest with you. I really thought 800 would be the limit, but it just keeps growing and it makes me very proud. So thanks to each and every one of you. Appreciate that more than anything. So until we see you tomorrow for the Monday grid, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Cheers. Servus. Grüß Gott. Ciao. Cin-Cin. Be well out there. Be nice to strangers, of course. And remember all those thick foreign accents that you're doing your best to understand as they're trying to communicate with you. Remember, that thick foreign accent is coming from the mouth of someone with the heart of a lion. Un cœur de lion. So, be well out there. We'll see you on the morrow. Stay well. Cheers.